Hi everyone, I'm Kirk Leins. Welcome to Community Cooking. We have a very special show for you today. As you can see, we're not in studio. Instead, we're at the Torrance Farmers Market here at Wilson Park. Now, today our show is full of surprises, starting with a surprise guest. The two of us are going to do some shopping for produce and then head to a surprise location where we're going to do some cooking. What do you say we get the surprise party started? I'm looking for some really big onions.
Hey, and you found them right in the right place. Hey, Kirk, how you doing?
I'm good, Annette. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. Everyone, this is Annette Gallardo, chef and owner of South Bay School of Cooking. Annette, this is everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Now, you got to tell me, I'm starving. What are we making today?
I'm making these great stuffed peppers, completely vegetarian, with all kinds of things we can find here at the market.
Great, great.
And then a zucchini carpaccio.
We are definitely in the right place.
I think so.
What do you say we go foraging?
Let's go.
Hey, looks like you got a nice full basket there.
I did a lot of shopping already.
Well, I see you got one of those large Maui onions.
Those giant Maui onions.
Right, I mean, and for those unfamiliar, that's a very sweet, delicious onion, right?
Yes, it is.
I know, we can make some onion rings with that, whatever.
Oh yeah, hula hoop onion rings.
I like that. Maui, hula, that makes sense. And we have some bell peppers, different colors, green, red, and some beautiful looking zucchini here.
Yeah, but you know, I think I want a few more zucchini for that zucchini carpaccio.
Well, you are in luck because today zucchini is $1 a pound.
Wow, you can't get that anywhere else.
No. I mean, you could rummage through your couch and find change and buy a pound of zucchini.
There you go.
A couple of these guys?
Yeah, some of those nice, light, big ones.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
All right, but you know what? I have seen some things up at the register that I think might go perfect in these stuffed peppers. You want to check it out?
Let's do it.
All right. Check these out. Now, you see these things in the market all the time, these little tiny sweet peppers. Now, I've got to imagine here at the farmer's market, they're going to be even sweeter than what you get at the store.
Have to be.
Shall we?
Let's try it.
All right, okay. You know what the best part is? Kids love these things. Hey, you can have a red one on.
Cheers.
Cheers. Now, what I'm thinking is, how about these diced up with the other vegetables stuffed inside the, right?
Let's
Sweet
do it.
pepper inside of pepper?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Anything else that you need while we're here?
You know, they have this organic cilantro, and I need some, so let's get some of that too.
Done deal.
All right.
Wow, look at that.
Look at that.
I know. One of the best smells, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is our basket complete?
I think so.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you today?
Good, thank you.
What do we owe you?
Let's see here. We have $8.50.
Allow me.
Oh, a gentleman.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's 8 and 50.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You too. So, should we head to our secret location and do some cooking?
I think let's get cooking.
All right, let's do it. I made it.
Hey, Kurt, glad you made it. Found your way here.
Absolutely. If you all haven't guessed, we are at South Bay School of Cooking, and I must say, this is a really nice space.
Thank you.
I love what you've done with it.
Thank you.
Really, really great. So, I guess we should get cooking?
I think we should.
Where do you want to start?
Well, we're going to start with the sofrito, which is the beginning base of our stuffed peppers.
Okay.
So we're going to start with the onion.
Okay.
We're going to get that cut up. We may not need the entire thing. It is
That's our giant Maui onion.
That's our giant Maui onion.
Right. What do you think?
Well, I think we'll look about half, but I think, oh wow, that is really soft and juicy inside.
See the liquid coming out. Would you like me to get going on something while you're doing that?
Sure. Why don't you dice up those little sweet peppers we got?
Okay.
Pretty fine, because this all has to be stuffed inside the pepper, so we don't want big chunks.
Okay. Just like you said, like a dice?
Yeah, but pretty fine, pretty fine. I'm gonna finely dice this onion too. Everything's gonna get pretty finely diced, otherwise it doesn't really fit in the pepper, so.
Well, and also it'll probably help cooking time a little bit too, correct?
Yes.
Great, all this stuff looks so beautiful.
You know, this onion isn't even bothering my eyes. It's so sweet. You can smell the sweetness.
Yeah, that was pretty. I don't know if I've ever seen onions that big. You know, especially Maui onions. I mean, the ones that you find in the store, I mean, just sort of average size, right? Mm-hmm. It was really fun today. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's a wonderful market.
You know, really, truly impressive. Truly impressive. If for anyone who has not been, I highly recommend going down because it's boy, everything you need is right there, right?
That's right. I'm gonna get started on a couple of these.
Great.
While we're chopping away.
So you called it a sofrito. I mean, you know, maybe some people out there might not know what a sofrito is.
That's right. A sofrito is the basis of the beginning of most Latin cooking, Arabic cooking, Italian cooking. The French call it a mirepoix. They just have different names. But it's that first aromatic blend of things that they put in a dish, and they get it going to start the flavors. In the South, they call it the Trinity.
Right.
So it's all pretty
Very much a Louisiana.
Yes, and it works really well.
Yeah, and it really, you know, in a lot of things, it really helps you, the flavors incorporate into the end product so much better when you get this going first.
Exactly. You know, I often tell my students that back in the old day, they didn't have a whole set of pots and pans. They had one large pot.
That's true, too.
Everything was cooked in there. The family pretty much ate from one big pot. Sometimes they just put the pot in the center of the table and got some bread and started eating.
Well, considering that I really don't like doing dishes, I think that's actually a pretty good idea.
There you go.
I might have to steal that.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Okay, I've got my peppers done.
And I've got my stuff done, so let's get it all in a bowl so we can take it to the stove.
Awesome.
And get this cooking.
Got your bench scraper there.
Oh yeah, I've got
These things
it
are
all.
so handy, aren't they?
Yes, they are. I've got all the toys.
You know, nothing wrong with kitchen gadgets, right?
Right.
All right, there you go. That looks beautiful already.
Yes, it does. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it started here.
Great.
Okay, that's gonna saute.
Great. Smells good already. What's next?
All right, so we need to, I have this corn. You know, you can get some of these things and have them on hand for my last thing, and you want to use them up. So why don't we get that corn peeled?
So I take it this recipe is a great way to use up veg.
Exactly. You can open up your cabinets, your refrigeration, and just...
And you know, there's so many reasons, right? I mean, sometimes you don't use all what you've bought, or let's say it's just been sitting in there and you just haven't used it at all.
Exactly.
And you need to use it up before it goes bad. You know, so this would be a great way to kind of just do that.
Exactly. You know, often people say, well, I don't know what to do with this. I buy a small amount, and then I'm not sure what to do with the remaining, and there's so many things you can do.
Right, yeah, I agree. I know I get that question quite a bit, actually. Okay. All right, and then I am just gonna get a little tea towel out here so that our corn doesn't go flying.
Well, there you go.
Right?
Good idea. Good idea.
Yeah, because that's the one thing about taking corn off the cob. It just has a tendency to hit the cutting board and then go all over your kitchen. This way, well, it's not a perfect science. At the same time, it's not nearly as bad as if you didn't have this.
Exactly.
And you'll be finding corn on your kitchen floor for the next couple weeks. I love white corn too, don't you?
Yes.
So
And that's
sweet.
another item that you can get all year round pretty much is corn.
Yeah, and another good one to get at the farmer's market because, you know, corn can be, well, it's a heavily GMO crop, you know, and at the farmer's market, you know, you can get a lot more, you know, you have better chances of finding organic corn.
Oh yeah.
So what do we do? So I've got your corn ready.
All right, so we can just kind of hold on to that.
Okay.
We're gonna put that in there when it's just about ready done, because the corn doesn't
Hand me a bowl and I'll get that.
There we go. Corn doesn't fully need to be like cooked long like this. In fact, I think I need to take a look and see what's happening over
Absolutely.
here. And there's a little bit of carrots left over. You can also go ahead and chop those up. That'll be a nice addition.
Yeah, I saw that. You had some julienne carrots here. Yet another thing we're using up. Okay.
This is coming along really fast. Those onions were so juicy that's created a nice sweat and steam in there.
Nice.
So they're doing really well.
Making its own little sauce, if you will.
Yes, yes.
All right.
I'm going to put a little bit of tomato at the bottom of this dish. It's going to help hold the peppers kind of up straight, because you know they're a natural product, they're not perfect.
Yeah,
so they're a little wonky.
Right, they have a little trouble standing erect if they're not on an uneven surface because of their uneven bottoms.
Exactly.
Oh, look at that.
So we'll just put them in.
It's a great idea.
And kind of fill them up.
And I would imagine that they kind of makes its own little sauce too, right?
Exactly, and a little bit of a steam bath.
Nice. Yeah, right. Okay, you need some liquid anyway. Into here.
Sure, that's perfect.
Doesn't matter, right?
And then we need some cilantro that's over there next to you.
This is the beautiful cilantro that we purchased at the
Yes, it
market.
is. And a lot of people don't realize that you can use the stems.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just about the leaves.
Absolutely. And the stems have a lot of flavor.
A lot of flavor, and they stand up to the cooking better than the leaves. So we're going to put mostly stems in the cooking part,
Okay.
and then at the end is fold in the leaves and let them wilt.
Okay, so would you like me to take the leaves off of these and chop up stem for
Well,
you?
what I would like you to do is just sort of chop this up for me, throw it in, and maybe a little bit double size, and then by the time we get to the leaves, you can chop those up. And
Gotcha. And what's nice about the stems too, they're not overly woody or anything like that, like sometimes stems can be. You know,
Exactly.
they're pretty delicate.
And while you're doing that, I'm gonna do a few garlic cloves. How's that?
Garlic makes everything taste better. I love garlic. And yeah, this dish seems like it absolutely is begging for garlic.
Absolutely.
We're gonna be throwing some spices in there too.
We've got some dry oregano and a little bit of cumin. And then the soy chorizo has a lot of its own flavoring.
Right.
So this is a great alternative for vegetarian cooking, is the soy chorizo.
Yeah, and that's something that you can find anywhere, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Any market.
it really is. It's in terms of a vegetarian sort of meat substitute. I think it's probably the best.
Yes.
The best tasting. It really is very, very good. Okay, so is that enough stem for you? And then
That looks great. Exactly, right in there.
Okay.
And that's a good place for it.
And this is something that seems like you can get together pretty quick, like on a weeknight or something like that, right?
Exactly. I'm going to go ahead and mix the two herbs, but first I'm going to break up some of this.
Oh, you got some nice whole oregano.
Oregano.
Is that Mexican oregano?
Yes, this one is actually.
Yeah, that's really good stuff, and you can find that in your regular supermarket.
Sure.
Also in Latin markets, has a really nice flavor to it.
Yes, it does. I'm going to let you just roughly chop that up for later. I'll get this back in the pot and let it go. Lost a little heat there.
All right, that is roughly chopped. Yeah, it just gets so fragrant when the knife hits the cilantro. Really, really awesome. Such a clean flavor.
So we're just about ready to put the sausage in and the remaining tomato sauce. So
I tell you what, you want to hand me another bowl real quick? I'll get the cilantro in there for you. Is there anything else I can start prepping?
at this point, I think we can start maybe getting the carpaccio done. That should be ready, and we'll fill these and get the carpaccio rolling.
Quickly, really quickly. I love it. Now, for those unfamiliar, carpaccio, usually something that's, I mean, you can do it with almost anything, but it's usually done with meat. Usually it's like raw filet that's pounded really, really thin. I mean, so thin that you can almost see through it. And it's usually arranged on a plate in sort of concentric circles. And then there's a number of things that can go on top of it. Anything from olive oil, lemon zest, capers, really, really good. So I'm going to, I take it you want me to get these zucchinis very thin, maybe with this mandolin?
That's perfect. That's exactly what you need to do.
Okay, I'm gonna use these bigger zucchinis here. All right, and this is a mandolin. And if you've never used one, be very, very careful. because you can cut your finger. That's very sharp. I'm holding right up at the top here, using the top as just like a little handle. They do come with a hand guard, and I recommend, if you've never used it before, definitely using the hand guard, because if you drag your hand through this, you'll never forget that day. It's going to be a bad one. Oh yeah, this is making it nice and thin too. And it, not only is it quicker, but you can never get cuts this thin, this accurate and consistent without something like a mandolin. Did you, is this your recipe for this, or both of these recipes? Is this something that you came up with, Annette?
Well, the Mexican stuffed peppers is because I have some vegetarian classes, and I'm looking for alternatives that aren't high in carbs, because a lot of vegetarian restaurants are, recipes are spaghetti, pasta,
This is very true. This is a very good point. You know, nothing wrong with vegetarianism or veganism, but you have to understand that a lot of times it is very heavily carb-based. So to make this plant-based and green like this, very, very nice. With the, I've got the zucchini pretty much all sliced up thinly. Would you like me to start arranging that on a plate for you?
Yes, you know, actually just you want to take that platter, start in the center, and make a spiral around, and then we can dress it.
Great. All right, so this looks like a nice plate. Let me just give that a little, some of the corn did go flying. Flew right onto the plate. All right, so start in the middle.
Yeah.
And then just sort of spiral it out.
Maybe a little closer together, just because when you hit it with the salt, after about 30 minutes it will start shrinking as it kind of cooks with the salt.
The incredible shrinking Carpacciol.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you to hand me that little bit of feta cheese as well. Thank you.
Feta cheese tastes good on everything,
yes.
right?
You can use traditional cotija.
I love cotija.
But a lot of people don't just have it around, but a lot of people do have feta around.
Sure.
So at this point, I'm just going to put in most of the remaining cilantro that you chopped, the leaves, and they'll just wilt in there.
Right. Yeah, you don't need to add any more heat. The residual heat that's in there is going to be doing the trick.
Exactly. And beyond just stuffing peppers, you could roll this in a tortilla. You could do all kinds of things. Just serve it as a dish. Put a poached egg on top.
Ooh,
it's endless.
Now you're talking.
This recipe has all kinds of applications.
You put a poached egg on anything and you're talking, that's my language right there. I love that with the egg yolk. It's
oh yes.
And a nice protein source, and also still vegetarian.
Yes. I put a little bit of that feta cheese down inside because it's a little warm. Normally I would cool this off and then toss the feta, but this time we're just gonna put some down at the bottom.
I have a feeling, I mean, it's a very forgiving recipe, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So this is something that, you know, if you're a newbie to cooking and, you know, you want to try something, good recipe for you to try. And healthy.
Yes.
Quick. And, you know, if you hit up that farmer's market, relatively inexpensive.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, I mean, we spent a little over $8 for all this produce.
Exactly. So now I can just pop it in the oven.
Okay, and do we need to cover that?
Yes, I'm going to cover it with.
Because you said something about steam, so that,
right. Otherwise, it just kind of dries out. So we cover it for the majority of the time.
Right, and you need those peppers to really cook, or otherwise you have almost kind of raw peppers, still kind of crunchy, right?
Correct.
Okay.
But you don't want them to completely soggy. You do want to have a sort of an al dente bite.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven.
And I'm sorry, I missed it. How long did you say?
It depends, about 30 minutes to 40 minutes, depending how full you fill your dish.
And what was?
If you got it, it's going to take about 30.
What was the temperature you had it on?
It's at 350.
350.
So I'm going to pop this in the oven.
Making this look perfect here. And if you have any zucchini left over, I mean, my gosh, stick that in the fridge and save that too, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you could use this on salads, chop it up even finer and do another dish with it, to a pasta sauce or something.
That's right.
How's that looking? Pretty good?
That is beautiful. I'm going to save this and have it for breakfast tomorrow.
With that egg.
Yeah, that's right.
Can Can I come over? That sounds really, really good. Really good.
That looks beautiful.
Cool. Yeah, that is nice. What a nice, something if you're having guests over for dinner. Really, really a great little sort of appetizer or salad that you
Exactly. So I'm going to have you sprinkle this with some kosher salt.
Absolutely.
I'll do the leeks real quick.
Okay.
And I probably don't even need all of this. This is a great thing to take to a party. You know, a lot of times there's a lot of unhealthful pre-made stuff. It doesn't take that long to do this.
No, you're right. Everybody's going to appreciate this.
Yes, and
Nope.
right off the bat you think, oh yeah, that's kind of good, but wait till you taste this. You could also put a little goat cheese, fresh ricotta or something on
Heck
the top.
yeah.
And you'll have it really nice.
Now the salt here is not only meant to season it, but also maybe draw a little bit of the water out.
Right, and almost cook it, something like what ceviche does.
Okay, okay. Is there going to be some acid that's going to be doing that?
We're going to put a little lemon zest, and
There we go, there's our acid.
I'm going to ask you to pick some of that parsley and some of the fresh thyme off.
Oh, okay.
So that way we'll have our little fresh
Just
herbs.
some nice big fat leaves.
Well, yeah, kind of just, you want to kind of break them up a little bit. I would run the knife over it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Gotcha, so not too, but no stems in this one.
No.
The parsley stem's not quite as good as the...
No. And you would need to cook them.
Yeah, for sure. They're a little bit more on the woody side.
So I'm just zesting the lemon. I want to take only the colored part, so I keep turning it, because the white part is bitter, and you don't want to get that into anything.
Right, very good point.
Zesting.
Very good point. Yeah, you want to keep away from what they call the pith.
Exactly, and you smell that lemon. It's just popped right
yeah,
up.
yeah. The oils from underneath that skin are just coming through really, really nicely. Okay, that's probably going to be good there. And the thyme we can kind of just probably go right over.
Exactly.
That doesn't...
And I'll throw a little pepper on there. Normally you'd wait about 30 minutes so that salt really gets into it, and pretty much we are done.
Right, wow, okay, let me hit this real quick.
So,
A nice little rough chop.
we have our peppers, which should be done now.
Look at that.
So we'll pull them out.
Yeah, you're right. A little bit of goat cheese on top of that would be nice. Oh man, I'm excited.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
That
I think
looks
you need a
beautiful.
tray.
All right. Let's see. Let me get one of these. It's very hot, but it is beautiful. Oh, ooh.
Yeah, both
Smells
dishes.
so delicious.
All right. Well, do you have a fork nearby?
Yes, I do. I think it's right underneath next to you.
Oh, you do, actually. Let's do this. We can share.
All right.
All right,
How about if I put one of these right on a plate? This plate where you got the fork.
Okay.
We'll sprinkle a little bit more of the cheese. I'll put this one right on the plate for us. And then a little bit of sauce goes over the top.
Great.
And some more cheese. I call it the other white meat. And then a little bit more of that.
Lovely. Lovely. Let me take a bite of this real quick and then I'll pass it down. Oh yeah, those peppers cook perfectly. They're great.
Yeah, you don't want them mushy. You want them to still have a little bite and to still be able to carry the filling.
That is absolutely delicious. The flavor, the chorizo, really, really nice. Tastes like you're just using regular chorizo. All of the vegetables, the crunch of the corn, the sweetness of the corn, everything's got a nice little pop. Those peppers, those sweet peppers we decided to use, just adds to the sweetness. And then the saltiness of the cheese and the herbs, absolutely beautiful. Wow, hot, but really good. Really, really good. Let me try some of this here. There we go. Wow. Absolutely delicious, Annette. Simple, easy, super clean. That lemon absolutely makes it. Thank you so much for a wonderful day.
Well, thank you for coming and playing at the cooking school.
Absolutely. South Bay School of Cooking. Come by, check it out, and definitely come visit us again on Community Cooking. We'll see you soon. Thank you. This was really, really good. I'm going back to this.
Good.
If you would like a copy of the recipe seen on this show, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Office of Cable and Community Relations, 3350 Civic Center Drive, Suite 200. That's in Torrance, California, 90503. Be sure to note the show number and the date you saw the show. And don't forget, you can find all the fresh ingredients used on today's show at the Farmers Market. Visit the one here in Torrance at Wilson Park. They're located at 2200 Crenshaw Boulevard. They're open every Tuesday and Saturday from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., rain or shine. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, give us a call at 310-618-5762 or email us at communitycooking@torranceca.gov.